Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. So we did take part in another preseason game today, behind closed doors game. And as you can see on screen already, we lost to Brentford 2-1. It's always bloody Brentford. Every single time we play Brentford, they seem to always beat us. But anyway, let's go through the lineup. I wouldn't overreact. It wasn't really our first team, but here was the lineup that was fielded by Mikel Arteta. In goal, we had Matt Turner playing once again. We do expect him to be our second choice goalkeeper next season. We also had at the back, Cedric on the right side, Tavares on the left side, another one who has featured a lot for us, but we're expecting him to move out on loan very, very soon. We had Walters and Holding as the centre backs. I think we had them as well. Was it against Nuremberg or something? I guess. I think we had them in that match. And then in midfield, we had the midfield that I really dread. El Neni, Niles, and Lokonga, the same midfield that started against Orlando City when we were absolutely overpowered and our midfield was non-existent against Orlando City. I'd really love to see the highlights of this match to see how they really did in midfield. And then up front, he had Marquinhos on the right, finally getting a start, and then Nelson on the left, and then Nketiah up front. So really, that starting lineup, we would expect the likes of Tavares to leave. We expect Niles to leave. Marquinhos has been talked about going out on loan. Nelson the same. Like, the one who's going to be starting in that team is no one. There's no one in that team who will be starting our games next season. Probably Nketiah will get a few minutes, and Cedric as well. The two that are closest to the first team. The others, I don't really expect them to feature a lot for us. And then, as you can see on the bench, you only had Souza, Patino, and Sagoe, the under 23 players. So not really much to worry about in terms of the squad. The moment I saw 2-1 Brentford, I was like, surely the likes of Jesus weren't there. So here's what the article had to say. We saw our 100% winning record during preseason come to an end as Brentford claimed victory in a behind closed doors friendly at London Colney this afternoon. An early Brian Mbeumo goal was cancelled out by Eddie Nketiah's fifth goal. He's doing well, Nketiah, so I think he'll have a good season next time. Goal of the summer so far, but just before halftime, Ryan Trevitt restored the Bees' lead, which they clung onto despite us dominating proceedings after the break. The scoring was opened after just 9 minutes when Finn Stevens flicked the ball into the space on the right flank for Trevitt to race onto, and his low centre found Mbeumo, who tucked past the outstretched Matt Turner. That goal came against the run of play, but we began to move through the gears, and after Marquinhos saw a low drive find Thomas Strakosha, parity was restored in 24 minutes. Reece Nelson did well to cut inside from the left, and after linking up with Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the ball found its way to Nketiah, who slotted home. Marquinhos again came close when Turner sprang a quick counter-attack following a corner, but his attempted lob over Strakosha drifted wide. But just before the break, Brentford got back in front when Rico Henry burst into the box and found Trevitt, who showed excellent composure to take a touch before picking his spot. After the break, it was one-way traffic as we peppered the Brentford goal trying to find an equalizer. Nketiah dragged a shot wide before Albert Sambi Lokonga embarked on a mazy dribble before shooting just over the bar. We continued to up the intensity going into the final quarter, and Nuno Tavares forced substitute keeper Matthew Cox into a flying save on 68 minutes. Before some neat play between Lokonga, Nketiah, and Nelson carved out an opportunity for Maitland-Niles to head home, but Cox was equal to his effort. With 10 minutes to go, Cedric let fly with a drive from the edge of the box and saw his attempt thump off the base of the post, and with one last foray forward, the wicked Nelson delivery narrowly evaded both Lokonga and Marquinhos at the far post, forcing us to suffer defeat for the first time this summer. So as you can see, Patino came in for Niles in the 85th minute, all came in for Walters in the 46th minute, and then Souza for Tavares in the 76th minute, and finally Sagoe Jr. for Nelson in the 90th minute. Brentford's team wasn't really that strong as well. I mean, there are a couple of new players. Mbeumo is always there for them. The likes of Henry and Onyenka have been there since last season. I think Strakosha is a goalkeeper they've just bought. So it was a defeat either way. The first defeat of the preseason. We've had a really, really good preseason, but I guess just the change of the team has a lot of bearing on it. Most of those players, again, as we look at that team, as I said, that is a very, very weak midfield. Like, as I said, against Orlando City, if you start with that midfield in the Premier League, we'd get hammered 6 or 7 goals every single week. We do expect Tavares to leave. Cedric, I think, will stay. Holding will just be a backup player. Walters is an under-23s player. Turner is just a backup goalkeeper. Marquinhos is expected to go out on loan. Same with Nelson, probably. And Nketiah will feature I think Nketiah, Lokonga, and Cedric are the ones who are closest to the first team, and then Tanner's a backup goalkeeper. Lokonga's actually done well so far this preseason. I think he's got a couple of goals and a couple of assists as well. So that's how it went. We lost to Brentford by 2-1. Unfortunately, ends our 100% record. We have a game against Sevilla over the weekend. This time round, though, we are expecting the big boys to be back. The likes of Gabriel Jesus, the likes of Martinelli, the likes of Gabriel at the back. Basically, all the Gabriels will be back. We're expecting Tomiyasu and Tini maybe to feature if they have 100% fit. But let's not overreact in this one. But that's how it went. Arsenal 1, Brentford 2.